Hey, Soulpepper people, people peppering the soul. How are you? So I was asked to do a little video here about, working out in the confines of what has become our everybody's office. So you find yourself in a room that's probably maybe even a little bit smaller than this. So I've designed this workout so that you can be in clothing like this. You might find yourself in jeans. You might find yourself in workout clothing. Or you might be able to change, up to you. But you can do it in anything that you have on. So I've designed it so that the space basically will be sort of like a 4x4 space. Here's your desk with your computer top, which everybody's spending endless amount of time on. One thing I will say, one of the important things that I've done as a personal practice is that I make myself go outside every day for at least an hour. Now, you don't have to do an hour. I have to. It's for my well-being. Walking, running, cycling, anything. I don't wear a mask, but I do respect the mandate of going out there and keeping your physical distance from somebody. So I do practice that, but I don't wear a mask. I go out there. I'm enjoying the natural vitamin D. And the air that's out there, preferably somewhere where there is a forest, and you can really enjoy the oxygenated air in there. So I do recommend that. It's very important, in my opinion. So anyways, back to the office. I'm looking at a space that basically, if you're at the edge of the table and you extend your arm to the end of your elbow, so you've got about 4 feet. And then, if you've got a wall on one side to the elbow again, you've got about 4 feet. So you got about a room about 4 feet by 4 feet in terms of space. That's fairly small, but I think, if you're having an office area or a desk area, that's what you're going to get. I'm going to start off basically, by the end of the day, you might find yourself slouching, doing this, right? Maybe doing this, maybe doing this. Who knows? Maybe doing this. Maybe doing this. I don't know. What I want you to get used to is finding your sitting bones and being on top of your sitting bones, because we're going to start this whole thing from the chair and then lead forwards. So if I take a look at the front, I'm going to ask you to go to about halfway the chair or the edge of the chair, and I want your hands on your thighs like this. And you're basically going to raise the shoulders, drop. Raise the shoulders, drop. As you raise, breathe in. As you drop, breathe out. And you're going to do that for 10 repetitions. After that, you're going to be doing rotations forwards. And watch where my hands are. They're on my thighs, so as I go forwards, they're going towards my knees. As I go back, they go to the middle of my thigh. And the breathing should be just like you're talking and you're being able to breathe in and out normally. You do 10 repetitions forwards, 10 repetitions backwards. Okay? After you're done there, you're going to do head rotations. And on the head rotations, you're still keeping your spine and your core engaged. So you're not doing this, you're not doing this. You're on your sitting bones and you're engaged, meaning that you're just active. You're not holding your stomach, but you're sitting up straight. Knees should be at about a 9-degree angle, and you're finding yourself like so. Good? So the next one, head rotations. I don't want you looking at the ceiling, so that you're not doing this, because that's basically compressing the C-section vertebra in your neck. Not a good thing. So you're going to be looking forwards as you go 5 times in one direction at this pace, and then as you finish, 5 times in the opposite direction at this pace again. Breathing naturally, not holding your breath. You should be able to talk, engage yourself in breathing, humming, maybe singing a song, whatever you choose. Maybe a monologue, soliloquy, who knows. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven heaven mentioned. A kingdom for a stage. Shut up, fun. Okay. So after the head rotations, now we're ready to sort of move on. We're going to start with basically knee presses. Now watch what I mean by knee presses. You're going to raise, grab the shin, press in. Come back down, other leg, grab the knee, shin, press in. As you go down, breathe in. As you grab and press in, breathe out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And it should be a total of 10. 5 with each leg. Good? Like so. So we're still in the chair at this point. From now, we've got ourselves a little bit more warmed up. We're going to go to the edge of the chair. If you have a rotating chair, I'll show you the variants to this. If you don't have a rotating chair, you're going to have your arms at about shoulder length and you're going to keep them there, all right? And you're going to be doing torso twists. And on this, you can accelerate the breath a little bit by going or just breathe naturally and keep your arms at the same height. I don't want them to drop or do this. I want them to keep them like this. And again, your core is engaged. If you have a swivel chair like this one, you're going to do oppositions so that you can actually move with your feet being on the balls of your feet and the same thing. Notice that my head is completely still. So we're here, breathing, or, and you're going to do about 10 of those. If you can go to 15, even better. After this, we're going to start doing a little bit more of a sort of a fuller body and hitting the main muscles, the legs and the glutes. So your next exercise will basically be off the chair, but also using the chair. Hands at about shoulder width like this, palms together a little bit further out, shoulder width apart, and you're going to be leaning forward, finding your thighs, activating them, coming up, touching the ceiling, coming back down, up, back down. Now the key to this is you want to keep that alignment. So I don't want to see this and then that, because then you're really putting a strain on your lower back. You're going to be going, find the legs, press up, reach for the ceiling, come back down. Breath is crucial. I want every movement to have breath behind it. So every movement deserves a breath. So we're here. So you breathe in as you go up, breathe out. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And you should do that one for about 10 times. All right, next one. Off the chair. Pushed away. You're going to find the edge of the table. You can either use your fingers like this, as a prong like that, or you can do it flat. I prefer it like this because it gives me a little bit more stability. And what you want to be doing now is find yourself about half a foot off from the edge of the table, and you're going to be rotating through your hips. When you're sitting, you're going to find yourself that you're in this position all the time. When you're walking, you're only doing this with your hips. So we'd like to activate the hip flexors and also the hip joint in a much more circular fashion so that we get a really complete range of motion. Because this, or just this, locks it in place and also shortens or tightens the musculature and then leads into lower back pain, into other things that happen as well. So you want to give it a full range of motion. So from here, you're going to rotate, basically going outwards, back down. As you scoop through, the ball of your foot glances across the floor and comes back up. So you're going to breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So we're doing 10 times one way, 10 times the other way, switch, and you've got this leg, breathing, breathing, and the other way for 10 times. Good? Nice. Now don't worry about getting too high. You can be this much, because the key thing is getting this rotational movement through your hip flexors and your hip itself. That's more crucial than trying to get some height to the actual circular motion. All right? After that, push-ups. Except we're going to be using this, the table. You're going to find the edge of the table. And the key thing about this one is I don't want to see a sway back, and I don't want to see a bend back. I want you to be in a sort of a push-up plank. So you're engaging your core. So as you go all the way down and all the way up, your back, your legs, your glutes are keeping you in position and flattening yourself out. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. 10 to 15 of those are perfectly fine. They're great. If you're having trouble with the table, you can also find yourself using the chair. So you can have a chair like this, and again, it might need a little bit more resistance, but if you want to go to your knees, you can do half push-ups like this from your knees. So really great, really important for functionality in case you need to get yourself off the ground, in case you need to sort of push something. All those muscles are then activated and can then be used thoroughly, usefully in functional movement on a daily basis. All right, so from there, I got the push-up. I'm going to add in now something that I like. So we're going to do a little bit of kickboxing inside here. Really simple moves, and it's based on boxing and kickboxing together, and something that I always sort of practice with my students at George Brown, York University, and also sometimes at U of T. I want you to visualize a triangle on the ground. You're at the tip of the triangle, and your right foot goes to the back base point of the triangle. You're going to bend your legs so that they're just over the inside instep of your foot, the arch of your foot, and you're going to roll down your fingers like this, put your thumbs over top, and get into your fighting stance. In profile, you're looking at about 2 hand width distance for your left arm, lead arm, and about 1 hand distance with your right arm or your power arm. This is called an orthodox stance, right? And if you're a southpaw, your left hand is back here like this, but we're going to be doing both sides. So the combination is going to be this. You're going to go jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, front kick, back down. All right? Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, front kick. Then from there, switch. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, front kick. Boom. Okay? To go through this, again, breath is going to be crucial. Every movement deserves a breath. If you have your balance and you have your breathing, you're then going to be doing the technique properly. So on every one, breathing out, breathing in, 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 breathing out, breathing in. Switch. Good? And the same thing. So that we basically have good? So that you're basically, every movement is deserving of a breath, but now the breath is forced because the movement is happening that much faster. You can slow it down too if you wish. Switch. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, front kick. Switch. Good? So there's the little combination that I have for you. So that's now moving through the entire body. What I want to do next now is show you how to release. Important too is water. So I recommend that at the top of the routine, have yourself a glass about this big, and at the end of the routine, glass about this big. Keep yourself hydrated, and it's important throughout the day to check in with yourself and make sure you're drinking a lot of this. You might not be moving a lot, but certainly being indoors and being around electronics and stuff like this, I found that dehydration happens a lot quicker than you think, even if you're not moving around or being physically active. Okay, so stretching. One of the things that I've basically sort of turned away from is calling it stretching. It's impossible really to make a bicep longer, or a quadricep longer, or a pectoral muscle longer. But it is possible to release. So I think the concept of releasing a muscle, releasing ligaments, releasing all that and joints is a much more applicable and realistic function. So for me, it's almost like having a rope like this. So throughout the day, whether you're sitting, whether you're running or walking, or experiencing a lot of tension, as many people are during this time, this starts to tighten. Tighten, 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 until really it starts to pull and tighten, and potentially it can snap. But the rope stays the same, right? It doesn't get longer or shorter, whether it's stretching or whether it's being tightened. So when you're releasing, you're actually keeping the length and keeping the size of the muscle, but you're opening it up. You're doing this to the rope. You're basically releasing it and doing something completely different than continuously just winding it and tightening it and allowing no breath or energy to travel through it. So as we go through this, I want you to keep in mind the idea of releasing and not stretching. That's something that's, well, over the past 5 or 6 years, I've been more towards saying or using that type of language and expressing myself through that type of movement, which was considered stretching, and now I more often now call it releasing. Okay, first one, for the hamstrings, you're going to be in that same fighting stance, and from here you're going to basically lock out the knees, but position the hips so that they are not bladed, they are square in front of you. So that means the toes now, one of them is pointing straight, the other one's at a 45-degree angle, but your hips are like this. From here, you're going to breathe in, breathe out, keep both legs straight. If you can reach and touch the floor, fantastic. But I don't want you to think about bending the back. I want you to think about really being pulled from the sternum so that your back is straight as you do this. Good. You're not bending and going to your knee. You are going to your foot, so you should feel a complete stretch through the entire back of the leg. Once you've done that, on the way up, I want you to bend the knee and roll up with bent knees like so. Okay? So that you're not injuring the lower back. Then, opposite side, same thing. Square off the hips, breathe in, breathe out. Once you find this position, reach the hands forward, breathe in, breathe out. And again, if you can touch the floor, great. If not, do the top of the shin, top of your foot, or if you can, touch the floor. But both legs have to be straight. Front foot, toe pointing forward, back foot, 45-degree angle, hips square in front, not bladed. So that's for your hamstring. For your quadricep, back to this position, very similar to those hip rotations we were doing. And what I want you to do is you're going to be grabbing the shin. A lot of people do this stretch and they grab the top of the foot. All you're doing here is you're hyperextending the ankle, and you're not getting a full stretch through your quadricep, or a full release, I should say, through your quadricep. So you're grabbing and you're placing the heel back towards your glute, your butt, and you're extending the hip out, dropping the sternum, and breathing. Hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds with one leg. Switch, grab the shin above the ankle, and 20 to 30 seconds with this leg, and release, breathing into your belly, into your lower back, and really sort of filling that up. So don't think that you're breathing up high. Keep centering and lowering the breath into your belly and into your lower back. So there's the hamstrings, quadriceps. Back to the chair. What I'm going to ask you to do with the chair is you're going to widen the legs, and you're going to use this chair as a basic balance point. As you tip over, send the hips back and straighten the back. So now you have this as a resting point. For those of you who can go a little bit further, move the chair, go to the floor. If you have more room, you can go wider with this. Really great for the inside hip flexors, really great for the inside of the thigh, the anterior femoral, and really stretching that out. What you don't want to do is just basically drop into it. You want to do this slowly, and I recommend you starting here. Hold that for 30 seconds. When you get out of this position, bring in one leg, bring in the other leg, roll up. So that just save your back as well. Good. Next part of it, as we go through this, is I want to go to the floor over here and lead you into the next part of the movement over here. Great, just want to check in. So this will be the last little bit where I'm going to start incorporating some breathing as well. And I think checking in with your breath and where your breath is crucial. So after you've done your hamstring, after you've done your quadricep, after you've done your anterior femoral and hips over here, where I like to go now is basically into this position here, which is not lotus. It's not here. It's not this, right? It's butterfly. Where again, you're finding your sitting bones and the soles of your feet are together. You can pull them in, grab the toes, let the knees hang. Some people do this. Don't need to. Just let them drop, and again, nice and tall, like so. Good. Breathe into your belly and into your lower back, and that's the last bit of release that I want you to do. When you're done this, then I do want you to find this sort of half lotus position, and we're going to go into our breathing. The breathing that I'm going to do is 4-6-8 breathing. And there's a link that I'm going to be attaching to this so that you can do a little bit of reading on what 4-6-8 is. It's a practice that's been around now for a while, and I've certainly found it very beneficial to myself. So it's a count. You're going to breathe in for 4, you're going to hold for 6, and you're going to release for 8. So on the breathing in, you're breathing in through your nose, holding for 6, breathing out through your mouth for an 8 count. So it's going to be something like this. And you can just relax. You don't have to be in a meditative position or anything. But I do want you to be standing or sitting on your sitting bones, engaged. So you're not slumping over to one side. You're activating yourself, but dropping your shoulders, and you're on top of your spine. So you're going like this. In through the nose for 4 first. So you're doing this. Holding for 6. And out for 8. And there's your 4-6-8. So again, it'll be this. And you do that for 4 repetitions. 4 repetitions being 4, 6, 8, 1, 4, 6, 8, 2. On the inhalation, think about sending your breath down to your belly first. Obviously, air doesn't go into your belly, it goes into your lungs. But the idea of filling up your belly and your back ribs and then rising up until all the air is finally collected through your entire torso. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release for an 8 count and all the way down. Take a moment, repeat. So 4 repetitions of that, and then you're done. That's your mini little workout. So I've described everything, so this is more of a descriptive one, but I'll do another one where I'm just going to do the entire routine. I'll talk in between it in terms of breathing and stuff like this, but I won't be explaining it like this. Okay, all right, see you soon, soul pepper people peppering the soul. There's my just my made-up tongue twister. Okay, see you soon with the full workout and less talk.